the discussion. There's a debunk. Masons didn't make black holes. End of discussion. There's the debunk.
Okay. All right. So what do you say, Don?
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Put your
Thank you.
claim in your ass.
That's
Yeah,
not
put your
debunk.
blame in your ass. She says.
You've
Which
just
is
said
obviously
stuff.
where they go.
Was that directed to me or to the flat earth?
It's everybody. It's to everybody. All
To
the
the
claims.
flat earther.
Who's this kid?
She's not a
person
kid.
that has a right to speak.
This is a woman.
Yeah.
I said person.
Okay.
Sure.
You shut the
Who
fuck
cares?
up.
She's a Russian.
Say
She's
something.
a Russian spy.
She's the best.
The Black
I'm
Widow.
not a Russian, no. I'm American.
Oh yeah, American spy. With a Russian
All right,
accent.
Bev, you got yours or what?
So
I
someone
don't
says
have a
something-
Russian accent.
I know. You don't. Definitely not.
Masons made up the black
That's
hole.
the question. I'm not trying
And
to.
you say no, they didn't. Okay, great debunk. Okay, next.
Right. I mean, you make up some random statement like.
This
No,
is why
but
it's a silly
it's
challenge though,
stupid.
because it's just there's
So
no way to
I can
adjudicate it.
respond with a response. I mean,
That's funny, but it's not a debunk. Okay, let's move on.
But it's also just not. It's just nothing.
it's
There's
not
no
a
way to
point. That's what I'm
adjudicate the
saying. It's
challenge.
not a point. It's not a valid point. It's just a
Tonight for
statement.
an hour, mate, and then
It's
you'll
not a
realize
debunk.
it's impossible, and you owe me $100.
No. I debunk you. Okay, watch this. Hey, clocks have 12-hour cycles, so the Earth is flat. I mean, you're making a statement that has no relevance, first of all, and you're just making up stuff.
Your model's made up.
So my rebuttal is under the same vein,
No.
which is no, they're
the,
not.
the flat Earth bit was got nothing to do with it. It's just make
It
a valid
certainly
point.
has nothing to do with it. I know that, Bev.
Which came
I don't-
first, Flatty? Come on.
Okay, it says a flat Earth point.
Tell
I
everyone
cannot
which
debunk.
came first.
Haven't done it.
The tweet or the extra one that you did afterwards.
Obviously, the tweet came first because he would have said
No, the
otherwise
tweet
by
did
now,
not
so-
come first. That
All right,
setup
so
in my
then-
profile came first,
Okay, so there you go.
and
There you go,
that came way before this.
Right, but
They
there was
just
no
never
there was
noticed
no
it.
reference to that other one at all.
That's on
was
you.
there,
That's
when
that's
you
your
did that
problem
tweet?
because you responded. You
No,
responded.
I told
to a
you
tweet
to
that
give
I
to put my
responded
money
to.
in FE Core.
So where
as a
is my
donation.
flat Earth point? I wanna
I've
hear
come.
you
This is
throw it up
guys.
there.
This is a pretty dumb argument. This is really dumb.
That's
It's
my
like
point. It's an absurdity.
I just thought
And-
you
and
might
they're
want
sitting
some
there trying to
money.
seriously try to do it. So go ahead and do
no,
it.
I don't think anyone cares that much about the money.
There's a load, isn't there?
I will give you the money, Bev. Show me a flat Earth point that I cannot debunk.
It's already on the bottom of the tweet. isn't it?
Nah, you need to just go ahead and state it. State it for the audience.
Okay.
Make a fool of me, Bev.
Yes, okay. If the water level is horizontal, then how do you wrap that round a ball? Or let me put it another way. If the Earth is a spherical object, P, then the surface of liquid water should or must curve, mustn't it?
Yes.
Flatty. Q.
Okay, so here's my response. The Earth
right.
is a
You said
spherical
it.
object.
No.
The water curves around the Earth.
How? Wait, show me.
Okay, I did point.
It's a
and you did not
horizontal
do color.
plane, isn't it?
No, it's
What's
not.
a horizontal
It's
plane?
level.
No.
Level.
This is my thing, guys. Let me do my thing. I'll try not to take too long. What's a horizontal object, Bev?
A horizontal object. It's a
What is a horizontal
the
object?
water level establishes a horizontal plane.
Okay, you
No,
said
yeah.
two different things. So let me address your first thing. No, it's, if you're referring to the water, is not a horizontal object. Two, on a sphere, there are an infinite amount of horizontal planes depending on what point that plane crosses the surface of the Earth. So which of the infinite amounts of horizontal planes are you referring to, Bev?
On a spherical object, there is only two horizontal planes, isn't there? One on the top and one on the bottom.
False. Every point, every tangent point that crosses the surface, that's the establishment of a horizontal line at that tangent point. 2 points that cross along a surface will establish a plane, and part of that plane will intersect under the surface of that spherical object between those 2 points. So for instance, if you have 2 points on opposite sides of a sphere, they would establish a line going through the middle of the sphere, through the core of the sphere itself. Okay, so you got your line. It could be
It's like a
horizontal, vertical.
diameter or a radius.
And here's
type
the other
thing.
thing. Nope. And here's the other thing. I said to you before.
Like
you
a
have to
chord.
establish where you. Excuse me. You have to establish your axis of orientation. You did not do that. So you pretty much divided by 0 in your logic, and you can't even make a flat Earth point in this exchange. So that's the end of that.
Yeah, that was
At least establish an
orientation.
orientation of your axis.
Remember this? Remember
That
Bev?
was terrible.
Orientation.
Zanik,
perpendicular to plumb.
Zanik, are
No,
you,
no,
are
let
you
Zanik
debunking
speak.
this for him or
No.
what?
No,
I've
I
already
know, I
debunked
just
you.
want to read
Zanik,
one
speak.
statement. An orientation perpendicular to plumb is level. That's all you need to know.
What? Sorry, say that again.
Yeah, so a third time.
Go on.
An orientation perpendicular to plumb is what level is. That's
Yeah.
the definition.
A horizontal.
No, he
Yeah,
said
yeah.
level.
No, he said perpendicular to plumb.
Right. He didn't
Perpendicular
say.
to
He
plumb.
didn't say
Yeah, yeah.
horizontal.
Okay.
Level.
Wait a minute. Let me.
An orientation,
Do you want me?
not a plane or a surface. An orientation. So now you're going to have, as Flatten said, a bunch of tangents. So you ever made those things out of string where you had straight lines all going to points, but the points move, and then you end up making a curved surface? They're all straight lines, but they make a curve because all of them are oriented a certain way. But they're all straight, but they make a bunch of tangents which make a circle. You probably never had that little art class when you were in kindergarten, but I did.
Segmented circle.
Right.
And so did I.
Can I just
Hey, Chemo.
Can I just
you're-
throw you this
said
in?
This is being
Look.
recorded, right? And I get to see it
Yeah.
in 5 days.
check the debate chat box and see that in there? I've just put it in. Can you read what that says,
Okay,
or do
that's
you want
great.
me to read it out?
No, I'll read it. 10. We have no idea what this is referring to, but 10. When a straight line standing on another straight line makes an adjacent angles equal to one another, each of the angles is called a right angle, and the straight line which stands upon the other is called a perpendicular to it. Okay, that's a nice statement. What does that have to do with our conversation?
Well,
Nothing. He's still confused about the
Zanik,
artwork.
what did
Lane.
you say,
No,
Zanik?
Zanik, let him dig his
Sorry,
hole.
no, wait
An
a minute.
orientation perpendicular to plumb. Now
Yeah.
that orientation would be a tangent.
It would be a
to
straight
whatever
line,
surface
wouldn't
is
it?
Below. What?
Would be a straight line,
Zanik,
wouldn't
let
it?
him die. Let him
Yeah.
die. Let him kill himself.
That. Go ahead, Bev.
It
That
Yeah,
line.
go ahead and kill yourself,
That
Bev.
orientation out into the distance would be a straight line. Now, if you move 5 feet from that point and have another tangent,
You said
which
that
is
would be level, though, didn't you?
No,
Zanik.
the level would be the cumulative positions of all of those points. which are
Perpendicular.
connection
Perpendicular.
tangent to the
We said it's
circle.
recorded, so we'll
Yes.
obviously be able to get it
Yes,
back,
you
won't
can,
we?
you can back up my work. Orientation and not a so. The
You said
orientation-
level would be
Yes,
perpendicular
level-
to
Level
plumb.
is an orientation. Oh, listen, level is the orientation perpendicular to plumb.
Right. Well, I've just give you the definition of perpendicular there.
No,
Did you
no,
did you
we
read
all
what
know
it said?
Yes. So, but I'm talking about an orientation.
That's horizontal,
So
isn't it?
You're oriented perpendicular to plumb. Now, if you move, that orientation reference to the first point will be
Perpendicular
different.
to
There'll be-
vertical, though, is
there'll be an
horizontal, isn't it,
angle,
Zanik?
And those cumulative angles subscribe a circle. The orientations, all cumulatively added together or connected together, will make a circle.
Okay. Can I get an answer on that? Perpendicular to vertical is horizontal, isn't it?
Am I
Zanik?
allowed to speak? Am I
Yeah,
allowed to speak?
of course.
Okay. Bev?
Can
Yes.
Zanik answer that
Excuse me.
simple geometry
no, this
question,
is my
please?
point. No, this is my debunk. Okay, he made his point. He made it clear, and you're
No, he
doing the
didn't.
same thing.
He's
that,
just said a load
Yeah,
of
he
waffle.
did.
Perpendicular
It is true that
90
Flatten's challenge is
degrees.
what started this.
and I've been patient. You went back and forth. Okay.
It's true,
Yes,
guys.
perpendicular, great, 90 degrees, vertical and horizontal. But you're back to the original point, which is you have to establish an orientation. And you made another mistake, Bev. You keep only focusing on one ray from the center. When Zanik and I and everyone
ray?
else, I would imagine, excuse me, don't interrupt. When
Well, I
Multiple-
don't know what
excuse
you're
me, don't
talking about.
interrupt.
A ray from the center.
Yeah, I know,
Anyone
I know,
else
but-
do that?
Anyway,
Right,
when
right.
multiple points, I'm sorry, when multiple rays come from the center of a sphere, they are not parallel to each other. So even though ray 1, let's say ray AB, goes to the surface at one location and it is
Have you got a
perpendicular to the
diagram?
horizontal plane at that location, it is not that axis that horizontal and vertical pair are not parallel to any other ray that goes to any other location except for the exact opposite direction.
Is that the
Does
what you're talking
anyone
about?
else not understand this besides Bev? Let me know.
Like you just said A and B, and then you've not given us
Right,
anything
ray
to look
A
at.
B goes up to one location on the surface.
From where?
From I said it already.
I think
From the
I think
center,
Bev
from
made
the
pictures,
core of the
and
sphere.
Peck just made a really good picture. And
Right.
if Bev, you can't accept this, then you guys some serious.
What's that?
You lost, Bev. It's
Look at
over.
the picture. Look at the picture in the chat.
Yeah.
Peck just put a picture.
Yeah.
Now every point on that sphere will have an orientation perpendicular to plumb.
What?
Every single position on that sphere can have an orientation perpendicular to plumb,
Perpendicular
what?
to plumb.
which would be
Where?
a tangent. Which would be a tangent.
You know what? Just mute me for
No,
5
every
minutes
point-
because I know I'm
every
going to piss
point-
somebody off.
Every line there would be level.
What?
Every single line there could be level.
Oh,
Because
damn
a
it.
level
Come on.
surface is one which is normal to the plumb line at all points, which is what Xanax said.
Well, that's not a
At
circle.
every
On
orientation.
a circle.
No,
At
hold on.
every
Now,
That might
orientation,
terribly.
it is
Who's
Hold on.
that?
perpendicular to
Awful.
plumb.
Jeez.
yeah. Now look. Now that line. Not all points on that line are perpendicular to plumb, are they? No, they're not. So that line is not level to the sphere. That line is not level.
To the sphere.
The point that touches it, the tangent, when it touches the sphere, that point can have an orientation that's perpendicular to plumb.
No. You're gonna have to
Orientation point-
if you're talking
You know
about
what
the circle
you know
in
what
geometry.
orientation
Wait.
means? You know what the word
Cosmo
orientation
just put up a link.
That's
Which-
the problem right
which
now.
geometry
you don't
you talking
understand
about?
The word orientation, and words matter, Bev.
Which geometry we talking about
So
here?
is that? So tell me something.
All
Let's
of
look
them.
at the top. Let's look at the top line. Is that top line, that line, level to the sphere?
What are you talking about?
The top line with the little red dot. There's a red dot and there's a line which is a tangent. You know what a tangent is?
Yeah, I don't
Is that
know.
red dot-
I'd
is-
have
is-
to.
is
I'd
every
have to
point
get a
on-
level on it, wouldn't I?
Is that, hold on, if the center of the sphere is where everything was being pulled toward, if it was like it's a magnet or something at the center, would that particular, if you put a level and every point on that line, would it be level?
That's not how level
No,
works,
it
is
wouldn't.
it?
No, the bubble would be going toward the center on the edge of that line. So that line is not level. Now, if the line conformed to the sphere, then that level line would be curved. That's all surveying. I know it's so funny.
You
When
said it
people
was
mock-
perpendicular
when
to
people
plumb
mock what They don't
before.
understand. It makes me chuckle too. I laugh at you, Bev, because you don't understand geodetic surveying. You don't. You just don't.
He
So
don't
how-
understand surveying. Period. He claimed yesterday, Zanuck, he was, he's worked hand in hand, worked extensively with surveyors. Yet he doesn't know the fucking basic concepts
Of
of surveying at all.
what the
Unbelievable.
level is
Unbelievable.
horizontal.
Seriously.
That basic concept.
Horizontal, straight, and then there's level. Level.
Yeah,
is
level
orientation.
is horizontal.
No, it's not. It's not.
It is.
No, it's not.
You just
It's
said
not.
before it was
did I give you-
perpendicular
out of the
to
out of the
plumb.
surveying manual, out of the geodetic surveying manual, where they teach this shit, which
Okay.
you have never even cracked one.
So
open.
it's not
Learn.
perpendicular to plumb now, then, is it?
An
No.
orientation perpendicular. See,
What's
you
a
don't know what the word
plumb?
orientation means.
What is a plum?
It's
Plumb
a
is
it's a plumb
when you-
bob.
when you have-
It-
you have a
it's-
piece
Plumb
of
is
string
like a-
and
it's-
a
it's a-
weight. Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Hey, do we have? Is the $100 challenge resolved? Is it settled, or do I need to defend it still?
No, you're
I
good.
was, I
Oh,
asked the
come
You
on.
owe
question.
me $100, bro.
Well,
Someone's
then
trying to answer the question.
Bev, come to my Discord because they don't want to put up with any more of this nonsense.
No,
And
I'm
I
not
don't
coming
blame.
to your Discord, mate.
Well, then we're done. Then you capitulate.
No. You can. I've told you. You can send it to FE Core as a donation for a charity. Off you go.
Hey, Bev, Bev, I just put something in the chat there. You can read it. Level surface because the Earth is round, a level surface.
Because the Earth is round. That's a nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice
This is from
starting.
the Land
what you're going with
Surveyor
there.
Manual. Land Surveyor Manual.
Oh,
I think-
really?
Or are you wrong?
Calm the
Although
fuck down, dude.
you have a flat
It's
surface,
been-
it follows the curvature there. A level surface is a curved surface at any point is perpendicular to plumb. There's my words exactly, actually, right there.
Yeah, which is what she said before, Zanuck, for sure.
Zanuck, just fucking relax, dude. This dude's been debunked. He thinks that, somebody owes FE Corps anything. He doesn't know fuck all about surveying. It's done.
Can you see that water level device?
Yes.
What's it say? Is any device utilizing the surface of liquid water to establish a horizontal plane of reference?
On a small scale, that does work. It's not accurate, though.
Do you read the
As
bit at
you've
the
been
bottom?
told,
Water
Roach,
levels have been used
No.
for many years.
Yeah, no matter how
The
far you
water level
go
is
and
lower
complain
tech
and
than
protest,
the laser
you don't
level,
get it.
It's
but
a little
it
tool.
can
It's
be
a tool
more
that shows you
accurate
horizontal
over
or a
long
short-
distances.
Okay, I'm going to wait for the gaps. Bev, it's a tool that shows you horizontal on a small distance.
No,
You need-
over
you need a
long
big one. You need a massive
distances.
one.
It's more
Reverse
accurate over long
Just hear what I'm
distances.
saying. I don't want you to repeat your loop. I want you to understand what I'm saying. Yeah? It's a tool that tests horizontal over a small distance. If you want
It's
to prove
not.
horizontal over
It
a long
says long
distance, you
distance.
need a long one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it tests as long as the level is. If the level's 3
Any-
feet, it's going to test 3 feet.
Any device utilizing the surface of liquid water.
That's
No.
retarded.
What would you call a long distance, Bev? What's a long distance to
3
you?
feet?
27 miles?
Bullshit. How can you do that with a 3-foot level?
Nobody that's ever done anything with a water level over 27 miles. So
Dig-
go.
Dig a big, massive trough and fill it with water.
Hold up.
Yeah,
That's not a device, Bev. You've been
Do
told
it.
this numerous
If you
times.
think it's horizontal, you have to do it yourself and see.
Hold on. The ancient Egyptians used it for like the pyramids of Giza, which are only a few hundred yards long. I would say that could be, to them a long distance. But if you're saying that anybody has ever used a water level to determine level over 27 miles, you're a fucking liar.
The canal that they built.
Yeah.
That
A
goes
canal
through-
is a canal. A water level is a water level.
Well,
you
they-
have to
they
make
had
the
to-
canal a water level
They had to fill it with water, didn't they?
with it for it to be a water level.
Yeah, they had to fill it with water, so
understand?
they'd have to
You
know.
understand? You can't just say a long canal is a water level, so it's level. You can't say that.
Yeah, that's
There's
what,
no
that's what
logic to
level
it.
means.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
They didn't.
No.
The fact that they established sea level and then they used to dig that, and they used machinery to dig it. All they did was establish sea level and made that 0 and maintain that from the inlet to the outlet.
Yeah,
They didn't
level's
use a water
horizontal.
level. They didn't use a water level, so you're fucking lying again. I actually know how they
Perpendicular
constructed this Suez Canal.
Vertical, that's what Zanuck said at the beginning. It's perpendicular to vertical. Would you not agree with
At
that?
every orientation, you're cherry picking what he said.
So it
Level
is
surface is one which is normal to the plumb
perpendicular.
line at
You
all
cannot
points.
just say this word means this to
It's
me, so Earth's flat. You have to
perpendicular.
test it. You
No,
have to
yeah.
fucking do a test.
Geometry.
You can't just
perpendicular at
say level
all
means
points.
flat to me, so
Line.
Earth's flat.
Silly now.
Not an argument.
Yeah, we
Have
just
you
do
been
geometry for starters. Like, if we can establish what geometry we're using, then we can sort it, can't we?
There's not different types of geometry. There's one geometry, not your type. There's the type.
Okay, and the rules for that type of geometry are?
Level surface is one that is measured to the plumb all points, at all points.
It's measured to the
At
plumb.
all orientations, yes.
Go on. And
Level surface.
have we stopped
is one
using
which is normal to the
perpendicular now?
plumb line at all points.
A level surface is
Level
one that
has
is
a
normal.
different definition than
plumb
horizontal, which means
all
they're two
points.
different things.
It is parallel to the mean spheroidal surface of the Earth. Hence, it is a curved surface.
Okay. What
For
rate?
most purposes,
What rate
the
does
Earth
level
taken
curve
in
at,
here.
please, Annie?
Not.
Bev, no.
Yeah, yeah.
I just told you no. You can't do this as an argument. We've heard it, and it
course I
doesn't
can.
work. No. No, I'm just going to say no to it.
It's been
If
killed
you're
so many
misunderstanding
times.
words, that's your problem, and you need to go read the dictionary.
Yeah, you need to understand
Beating
what
a dead horse at this
look up the
point.
word orientation.
It's not an
That might-
argument.
Okay,
That might
so
be half your battle
level
right there.
curves, but you don't know
Yes.
a number at what to
level
say
curves.
that level curves at.
You've already been
Bev,
told
I
this
actually
a
answered
million
that
times.
yesterday for you. I answered it. Why
So
didn't you?
Does
accept
an
my answer?
optical level curve at that same rate? Or a laser level, does that curve?
No,
That's a device. That's a
orientation.
different definition.
Tangent.
Brilliant. So
Remember?
we can
It's a
can
tangent.
actually measure
It's
the
perpendicular
curvature of the
at the
water level then, can't we?
No,
Yes,
it's
that's what I
oriented
told you. You got to do
to
it.
be level at that tangent point where it contacts the surface.
Okay.
That
so-
doesn't mean the whole line is level. And
Yeah,
I've already
so-
shown you the flattest and straightest object in the universe that we know of.
As balls roll into the centre, yeah, we've been
Yes,
over that. It's
yes,
like uphill
yes.
rivers.
And levels
Yeah,
and
yeah.
levels at the ends. Hold on. And levels at the ends point inward. Why is that?
I
does
haven't
it
got a
point
clue what you're
inward at
talking
the ends
about.
when it is
You
flat
don't.
and straight?
Please
And-
don't, Zanik. Like,
No, it is flat and
Your
straight.
fault. It's
At
your
the end,
fault, Bev.
horizontal.
What Xanax doing is your fault.
what?
What
He's
Xanax
got,
is doing is
he's
your
got
fault,
the
Bev.
levelest,
Blaming you.
straightest surface, and balls roll to the centre of it.
Why
And
do you think-
straight
why do you
objects,
He's
think-
got
straight objects are
uphill
not level.
flowing
And straight
rivers.
objects are not level.
Zanik
And
isn't
lasers
helping
are
you
not
people here.
level.
He's not
Yeah.
helping you at all.
I know.
Lasers are not level.
So the lasers aren't level,
No,
right?
they're a
Okay.
straight line. They're flat.
So they're horizontal then, are they?
They're horizontal. Yes.
Right, so there would definitely be a difference between the
No, because
laser
the ends of that-
level
the ends are not
and the
level.
water
the
level,
ends are,
wouldn't
those
there?
lasers are not level. They are not perpendicular to.
Why does it say that a water level can be more accurate than a
Because
laser
you're
level
using
over
your
longer
You're
distances?
using it something you use at your house to level something like a piece of plywood. All right, we're not talking about a piece of plywood. We're talking
No,
about something
we-
over
no,
longer.
we're
distance.
talking about
show us,
water
show
level.
us where it
Come on.
applies to the shape of the Earth.
What?
Show us how
Remember
it
the
applies
challenge?
to the shape of the Earth.
It is a tool that is used in reality.
To establish horizontal
Right, that
lines.
shape
yes.
you have
Good job.
is in your head.
Now it's measured
The tool
shown
is horizontal.
100 times
let me
how it's
crush
measured.
your existence right now, Bev. Let me crush your existence with that same building that has the balls that roll to the center. All you have to do is post this, and you can debut it all you want. We actually have been there. We actually have levels that are on the ends that point inward, and that's the kind of a funny
Levels that point inward. What are you talking about?
Yes, the level is not level. The ends of this thing, which is kept perfectly straight within a 20,000th of an inch, a spark plug gap over 2 miles, yet the ends are not level. How is that possible,
The
Bev?
ends are not level, but it is
Yeah, the
the
ends are
most
not level. You put a level on the ends, and they're pointing inward. It's not level.
pointing
Yeah,
inwards.
it's straight.
Zanik,
What? What's
please.
the part that you don't understand? What part don't you understand?
Well, level is like on,
level
on a
part.
horizontal plane-ish.
Yeah, horizontal
So
plane is not
where
level.
are they pointing inwards to? What are you
And
talking
on the
about?
on the ends of this structure, they are pointing in. I'll put it in chat again.
Pointing
There you
in what?
go. Here you go. Yeah, it's in
Does
chat.
anybody
Hey, what's
else
up,
know
guys?
what he's
Mr. Grim
talking
checking
about?
in with you. How you doing?
Yes, I know what he's talking about.
What? Where are the levels positioned, and where is the inwards that he's talking about that they're
Right.
pointing
So
to?
the levels are
please?
positioned
My
at
God.
the ends of the structure, both ends, and the level, actually, the bubble level points inward, like the
Right.
ball is not in the
You are
center.
helping him be confused between a tool
Can you
and a
just draw a
word.
picture as where
Yeah, I
this
got a
level
picture
is
here.
that's pointing
Picture.
inwards, please?
Okay,
Bev.
okay, Bev. Let me try to one little time, guys. Bev, do you understand what the difference is between level and horizontal?
There's no difference because level is the practical use.
Why do they
of the
have two
word
different definitions?
horizontal?
Two different entries.
They're very different.
Well, one's geometrical,
tool,
isn't it?
one is a
And
word
the
to
other
describe
Why do
one's
they have
things.
two different
been
definitions?
used
and
in
two different
reality.
entries if they're
A
the same
level
exact thing?
and level are two different things, Bev, whether you like it or not. You can look it up and understand, or you can pretend not to.
A level,
Bev.
the tool, is a device for establishing a
Yes.
We
horizontal,
weren't
isn't
talking
it?
about
Level is
Bev.
the word to describe things.
You see the picture, Bev? Bev, you see the picture I have of Slack? It's in
One's a tool, one's a word.
You put the level on there, and I'll fly you out there.
Put the no. Just draw a picture, Zanik, for me, please, and explain where the levels pointing inwards and what that means.
No, just forget it, Bev.
Bev, I'll fly you out here.
No.
I'll pay for your ticket. I'll pay for all your expenses. We'll go to the back. You'll bring your own level.
Zanik, I'm a carer. I can't leave the people I care for.
So the Royal Survey Society.
Just draw us a picture. It'd be loads cheaper.
Okay, Bev, the Royal Survey Society, which I cited before, because you had said that you didn't want to use anything that was from another country, and you ignored that. The Royal Survey Society creates a distinction. They have a distinction between level and horizontal.
Do they?
Now, yes, they do.
Okay.
Do we have to waste the people's time with that? So the thing is that you're refusing to accept that there's a difference. Everything else that you debate about is derivative. So can we please skip all that and you try to establish from the Royal Survey Society if level and horizontal are they have to be mutually the same, or if there's a distinction. And then from there,
how would you pertain to tell the difference?
I got a picture in the chat for you, Bev. Bev, I know you like pictures. Bev, before this gets too far away, check the picture out real quick. I drew a picture of it for you.
Nonsense, new one.
I drew a picture for you. You see it?
I don't know. There's loads of swear words and silly pictures. Which one's yours?
What the fuck
25 after the hour.
25.
Downhill. What are you on about?
Downhill. Both sides are downhill to the center.
Yeah.
And now you put a level on the down where the word downhill is. It'll show a bubble that has moved to the left or right.
It's not really a hill, is it?
What?
You mean down elevation?
Wait, why would the level show it wrong? Because
look at the plumb line on the sides. A plumb is a level, right? You agree?
No. Plumb is. Sorry, wait, Zanik. You said at the beginning it's perpendicular to level.
Bev, you have a plumb line on the ends. They point inward.
Yeah, but that's not level, is it, Zanik?
No, but the line is straight though. The line is the straightest object in the universe that we know of. It is the straightest object in the universe that we know of, kept within 20 thousandths of an inch, over 2 miles.
Right, and so when... Sorry, can I... So when they do... If they hang a plumb bob at that end of the thing, it doesn't go vertical?
No. Well, yeah, the plumb line always goes vertical, but relative to the object, it goes inward.
Bev, each plumb line is considered vertical at its location. That's why orientation is important. The orientation changes.
Plumb's vertical. You're not get me to disagree.
Yes.
Bev, I'm making one little point here.
But it's not perpendicular to plumb at the ends. It means it's not level at the ends.
Right, because the orientation changes. The orientation is based... Go ahead, Zanik.
Should I slow down, Bev? The ends, the plumb lines, are not perpendicular.
Zanik, you need to let other people get in, mate.
It's a horizontal
the plumb lines are not parallel to each other.
Horizontal and level are different things.
The plumb lines are not parallel. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You would think something as basic as they have different entries in the dictionary or in surveying manuals, then they are different things.
Okay,
they're not the same thing. They'd be under the same definition. Otherwise, since they do have different entries, they are two different things. They're even tangent to each other. A horizontal plane is tangent to a level surface. They can't be the same thing.
This argument has made me stupid.
Can I just go back to Zanik's picture and see? There's a straight line on it, right? It's got downhill at both ends wrote on it. Now, in the centre, if you drop a vertical, that would be perpendicular to the horizontal.
At that point only.
At that location.
Okay.
Perfect.
Now, now when you go to the other end and you drop a vertical to the horizontal,
at that point only, it's no longer parallel to the first location.
Sorry, can I actually finish this or what?
Hurry up.
Is the vertical perpendicular to the horizontal at the
Only
end?
at that location.
Only at the first location that you establish the horizontal.
Okay,
No,
so
he said at the end. He said at the end. No, the answer is no.
Only at the location where you dropped it. Okay, Bev.
Only the center, yes.
Only at the
confusing-
location where you dropped it. Each location is not parallel to the next.
so you're not using Euclidean geometry then, are you?
Vertical to Earth, Bev, but not to the line that you've walked out on above Earth.
Not using Euclidean geometry, are you?
Did you
Euclidean
listen to
geometry,
me?
they're
You didn't
using
listen
it-
to me. I'm summing it up for you in one sentence. You're ignoring me.
Violating the law.
You're ignoring me.
Geometry.
Bev, how dare you? It's vertical to Earth. Yeah, that's what a plumb line is, but it's not vertical to the end of the thing that you've just dropped it off.
Okay, I'm just talking about the geometry. Like that's what I came in here
Just
for.
ignore my point a second time, even though you heard it a second time.
I'm just talking about the geometry. You can talk about whatever you're talking about because
I'll consider it avoided.
It's imaginary, and you've got no proof for it.
So I tell you a third
Yeah, we
time?
do. It's all measured proof.
I just
Ordnance
gave
Survey
you-
even says myth number 2, a horizontal plane is a level surface. Of course it can't be because the Earth is round. This is your precious mapping service that uses geoid, ellipsoid bases for their projections.
Yeah.
And they literally, it's like they knew you were coming along.
Which
Myth number
geometry
2,
do they
a horizontal
use,
plane is a
Cosmo?
level surface. They are not the same
only
thing
one
on
geometry,
any
Bev.
planet besides Bev's planet.
Yeah, Bev. You know, geodetic surveying is a real thing. Do you not agree with that statement?
Have you got a definition of a
It's a
geode
yes or no
for us?
question.
Yeah, I do have a definition of it. Do you not agree that geodetic surveying is a real thing?
It's a thing.
It's a yes or no question.
what do you-
Is it
what are you
is it
talking
real?
about?
Yes or
Real.
no?
Understand that geodetic surveying is a real thing.
They people use GPS locating for.
You
No, no,
can't
the word-
answer
the
a
word
yes or
real
no
needs to
question.
be answered, Bev.
Nothing
The
with
word
GPS.
real.
Do people survey the geodetics of Earth?
people
Yes or no? Yes or no?
people use GPS.
Yes
to
or
log
no?
It's a yes or no.
coordinates
And they didn't use GPS.
to
200 years ago, we've
put
been
them
doing geodetic
on
surveying.
the geoid map. One of the geoid maps. There's plenty.
You've
Not a
avoided the question
geoid.
again,
Not the
Bev.
geoid map.
Yeah, yeah.
Geodetic surveying. Do you know what it is?
It's like I've just said. People using GPS signals
No, it's not using GPS.
to map coordinates
No, it's
and
not.
transfer them.
Wrong.
So what
It
is
existed before GPS, Bev.
No, that was
Bev,
that's
I don't know
surveying.
hardly anything about this stuff, and I know that
Hundreds of years before GPS.
That's just surveying.
This is before GPS, Bev.
Beach, Beach,
As
hold
if
on.
the Odyssey was invented with GPS. What are you talking
Beach
about?
there? Beach, are you around?
How old's your geoid model?
Bev, I'm putting a link into the chat. Could you please take a look at it?
500 years, dude.
150.
5 fucking centuries.
150
Core of an
years
age.
you've got a geoid.
Core of an
model.
aeon.
Is 150 years before or after GPS, Bev?
Right.
The geoid.
Duh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys,
Fucking
you guys,
Christ,
you
it's
guys
like
think
talking
that this
to a wall.
geodetic survey
Like talking to a
stuff
kindergarten.
thing-
Seriously.
It is talking like a kid to
Like
a
a petulant
kindergartner.
child will not understand the basic concepts of words we're trying to give them to
Bev,
It's
I
not
answered
one
the challenge
argument.
and defeated you.
Not one argument that works
Going
on
back
you,
to-
Zanuck, so he'll keep saying it.
You've
It means he
showed
can
nothing.
win an argument by being obtuse, and you won't.
Literal with the
Basically.
definitions of
Just
level.
hand waving like a
How
toddler
it's used.
and then claiming
practically.
victory.
Yeah.
Bev, you got rocked.
Continually not getting it is not a winning strategy. It just isn't.
It's me not getting it, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It must be everyone else who's wrong. It can't be me. No way it can be
Can
me.
someone put that in
It's
quotes?
everyone else.
Continually saying you don't get it is not a winning strategy.
Continuously.
Hey, Bev, I don't get it. I win.
I don't get it. It's like Tom Hanks in Big, right? I don't get it.
So, do you admit that you've not got a geometry that works?
Oh, we have geometry just fine, dude. It's all
yes,
good.
we have a
Squares and
geometry.
circles are real items,
Which-
are real objects.
Which
I have
geometry?
two
are you using?
geometry.
I have 3.
Yeah.
I win.
Hey, Bev, I'm gonna do the kill shot here. You said that a line Yeah, what did you say about the surface?
Is that
The
when
line
you turn
is
your
a
gun
surface.
sideways?
Yeah, I turn my gun sideways. Hey, Bev, you say that a line is all over the surface of a sphere, right?
A what?
You remember? Okay, watch this.
It's just you said a
Where
four-letter
is the
word.
line? Right,
I
where's
know,
the
so
edge of the
surprised.
sphere located?
Oh,
Remember? You said it's all over the surface of the sphere, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Bev, lines that cross each other have what's called a point, known as an apex. So, can you just identify one apex on a sphere, please?
What are you talking about?
Thank you. You guys, I apologize for interrupting. You guys have a
Drops
great
mic. Good moment.
Oh yeah, brilliant.
Man, that was
fantastic.
That dude's insane.
Man, that was so retarded he left.
Worse than you, Bev.
You are mental. He is brilliant, isn't he? That's why I give you that challenge
he
for
is.
the
He went to
100
drop
quid.
his mic and he dropped his whole computer on the floor.
Clearly, he's the smartest scientist here.
He admits to not knowing anything.
He's the only scientist here.
He owes me $100.
Yeah. Well, somebody dropped about 20 of them, just valid points that he can't refute. That's like 20 grand or whatever. 2 grand, come on. Pay up.
Yeah, but without gravity,
Good
those
math,
points
bro.
never hit the ground.
Hey,
You know what I'm
Bev?
Yeah.
I got a little geoid surveying presentation test.
Have you got a geometry that you're using, Zanuck?
If you can, you said
I
yes.
have
and then you
3
started
geometry.
Hey, you said yes, and then you start talking.
I have 3 geometries.
I got a little test for you. I urge you to click on it, and you learn something about how the geoid works and how geodetic surveying works. And just take 5 minutes.
Zanuck.
Zanuck,
trust me, Zanuck. I'm on it.
It's a one-way discussion. Just take a look at it. And
Zanuck,
see what
I'm on it already. Don't
I got a
worry
hella
about
good
it.
strain of geometries to sell right for you if you need it.
Is it pure? Are they pure geometries? Or are they?
It's a pure Landrace strain, yeah.
You know, maths
They're not
gives you
hybrid
proofs,
geometry.
doesn't it? Guys,
I got a little
I don't
quiz
mess
for
with
you,
those. I don't
Bev.
fuck around with them hybrid geometries.
Does maths give you proofs or not?
I got a quiz for you, Bev. You want to take a quiz? 2-question quiz, straight from surveying.
Shut the bike off for a second, son.
Questions 1 and 3.
Someone's punching something. Speed bag.
Sorry, my son started a bike right next to us. Hold on a second.
Oh, I thought it was a speed bag.
pretty fast speed bag.
Well, if you're good, you can do it fast.
So how many geometries are there?
27.
Can you name?
Sorry.
Can you name one type of geometry?
27.5.
Yeah.
That's one of the types.
Not counting the
geometry.
hybrids.
Cosmonaut, where'd you get that test from? Is that from my paper or no, something else?
No, it's from an online. Somebody set up a practice quizzes for licensing.
There we go.
And Bev refused to take this. And I only want questions 1 and 3. That's it.
Yeah.
It's not hard. A level line is a horizontal line. B, a line parallel to the mean spheroidal surface of the Earth. Or question 3. I don't even need question 2.
What's question 3?
And he refuses to do it. So
Question
it's pretty
3.
fun. Question 1 and 3.
What's question?
What are the
I've
answers?
told you.
A, B, C, or D?
1 is horizontal. Level line is a horizontal line. I've told you that. What is question?
So hold
3?
on. Question A. Question 1. Your answer is A. Yes.
I don't know. I'm not looking at it.
Well, he's telling
Well,
you.
look at it.
Is it horizontal? Because that's my answer.
No, it's a multiple choice question. Do you want it read out to you,
one
or
of
do you
the
not know how to read?
answers. I'm
Yes.
doing
Do you not know how to
something
read?
else.
The answers.
I posted it in chat. It's
I'm
not that
doing
hard.
something else.
It's not that hard. Okay, fine.
Can you read?
Just tell me the answer.
1. A level line is A, a horizontal line.
Yes.
B, a line parallel to mean spheroidal surface of the Earth.
Horizontal.
C, a line passing through the center of crosshairs and a center eyepiece. And D, a line passing through the objective lens and eyepiece of a dumpy or tilting level. A, B, C, or D.
Level is a straight line on a horizontal plane. Said it for
That's
years.
not even one of the answers.
Yeah, give
This
me the
isn't
answer.
hard. This is a multiple
That's
choice
the survey.
question.
Horizontal. Hello.
Okay, so a horizontal line. That's your answer. A level line is a horizontal line.
Yes or no, Bev?
Yeah, it's a yes or no question.
No, he's wrong. He knows.
How
He's
many
right.
times? do
We
you want
went
me to
for
say it?
multiple
Just
choice,
say
not
it.
being able to
Just say
answer
it.
multiple a yes or no question here.
Just say it, Bev.
So,
We know
so
you're
like,
You're
if
not
you're
smart enough to
horizontal,
answer the question?
are
He
you
said
guys going to
horizontal.
prove the globe by this or what?
Yes, actually.
A level line is a horizontal line.
He already said horizontal, guys. Come on.
Here-
All right.
Guys, come
Question
on.
3.
How old are you?
Question 3. The difference between a level line and a horizontal line is that A, level line is a curved line while a horizontal line is a straight line. B, level line is normal to plumb line while a horizontal line may not be normal to plumb line at the tangent point to the level line. C, horizontal line is normal to plumb line while level line may not be normal to plumb line. And D, both are the same.
Yeah, they're both exactly the same thing.
All right. So question 3, he chose D. Now I'm going to post the answer.
You're wrong on both of them. Good job.
You got an F. You failed.
So this proves that we live on a globe,
If
right?
it's not,
All
right,
if
so
it's
the
not
answer-
horizontal, what is
Your
it?
surveyor.
Oh, you are 0 for 2.
Yep.
You're 0 for 2. Question 1, the answer was not A, it was B. A level line is a line parallel to the mean spheroidal surface of the Earth. Question 3, difference between a level line and a horizontal line is that you said D, both are the same. The answer is actually A. Level line is a curved line while a horizontal line is a straight line. So you couldn't even pass the surveying tests or for licensing or qualification.
Brilliant.
Congratulations.
So that means that if I can establish a horizontal line, I should be able to measure the deviance from that of a level surface, shouldn't I?
I think actually what it means is that
Yeah.
you're qualified to
Yeah.
make the
So
distinction of
what is the
horizontal are.
curvature of a level surface then, please?
I just told you at the building with the straightest object in the universe, the
Yeah.
level.
You've been told so many times it's ridiculous at this
Give
point.
us a number, please.
The ends of the straight object would not be level at the ends.
Yep.
Because the
By
plumb
how
lines would be-
much?
By I had the number before 0.04 degrees or something. I can't
No,
remember the
no.
number.
Like a measurement, please. Of
That is
Degrees is
about a meter.
actual.
Thanks.
It's about a meter out.
It's about a meter.
Oh, how far? Like for over like a meter
A
distance. It was
meter.
like
So level curves a meter
quarter of-
over.
quarter of an
How
inch-
far's
a
that
quarter-
thingy, Zanuck?
I'm just telling you. A
Over
quarter
2
of an
miles.
inch? Over a 1 meter stick or a plumb line.
No, he's talking about what you just said about the straightest object in the world.
Yeah.
How much does it deviate?
From
20
the-
thousandths of an inch.
From the level.
No, from the straight line.
No.
So
How
Zanuck, what he's
much does it
asking
deviate
is how
from-
much the
God.
horizontal deviates from the
From
from the level.
That's what I said, and I said it would be. You want it in inches, like
Yeah,
how
yeah,
far-
sort of over a mile, let's say.
Yeah, over. I told you, over 2 miles. Over 1 mile from the center. 1 mile to the center. There's about a quarter of an inch that it would deviate.
And you were told this by a geodetic surveyor on Twitter who had this
Only a quarter
this
of an
diagram
inch.
when he's sitting on the beach and he has a level with a back sight. He sets up two measuring sticks on either end, and at 6 foot observation, each side hit 6 foot 8 inches. So it
No, it didn't.
you can laugh all you want.
that's
This
a
is a
stupid drawing, yeah.
demonstrable
No, it's
measurement.
not. It's a Zanuck drawing. That
That reflects what happened.
KC
And
did
the-
that.
Yeah, and then the one above it there is from the definitions. It's evident that a horizontal line departs from a level surface because of the curvature of the Earth. This is all
Just
surveying.
definitions. Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. Look at that. Yeah, that's a brilliant
No, these are
one, that.
measurements.
Yeah, this is measured reality. You're
That's
you're
not
denying.
measured reality. Look
I
at
think
the
you need a carer.
deviation on that.
He's got bad scaling, Bev. Stop with yours.
Yeah, like straight measurements, and he giggles like
Yeah, but-
he
If
can't understand.
If
He
your
just shuts
vertical
down.
deviates that much,
His
then
brain
I'm
just
not
shuts down.
surprised you're gaining
Yeah,
8
it's
inches.
unbelievable. Bev, you're a rare breed, man.
And
You are.
which
a rare
which
breed.
one? Which one's horizontal? There is there 3 different horizontals.
And in reference to what, doesn't it, Bev? If you looked at the meaning of horizontal.
Well, where have you ever seen a horizontal intersect with another horizontal?
Well,
It's measured.
I mean,
Not all horizontals are parallel, just like not all verticals are parallel.
On all-
Horizontals only
on all
established
square
at that
objects I've ever
location
seen. What are you on about?
definitionally.
What?
It'll intersect halfway between the other pair.
On all buildings ever.
You know, when you draw a graph and you have a vertical axis and a horizontal axis.
Yes.
Well, we don't
Yeah,
live on
to-
a graph.
And where
To
they
them-
plan.
intersect in the corner. You mean on that? You mean that?
Yeah, I mean, like when would a horizontal ever intersect with another horizontal, like on that thing, or is a graph like that drawn because the verticals always intersect horizontals perpendicularly?
So you're
What a weird
presupposing it's
question.
flat then.
Well, no, that's geometry, mate. That's
It's not even a formed question,
That's
but
a big
you don't
word
know
for
what
you,
you're
Bev.
saying.
You actually go to words you understand. Don't
Do
even
you-
use the word geometry.
you're not very mathematically minded then.
All right, so let's say
At
that
least
he's
I know
right
the
about
meanings
this.
of the
Hold on,
fucking
shut up.
words, dude.
Shut up, Don. Let's assume that he's right, and that when you take a surveying transit and you measure to two of the flags at either side, and you get 6 feet 8 inches, what would that tell you?
If you're doing that over the surface of water, then that would tell you that the surface of water curves, wouldn't
Yes,
it?
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it
That
would.
sounds like
So what
something that
happens
could
when you
easily
do
be
it over
done.
land?
But you would have to establish which is level. Is the level or the water level? Like,
Well, if it's 6 foot 8 on both of them,
yeah, but
then
so,
it's level.
yeah. So the water would be level. But what
Why you
about?
do that?
Again, level surface is a curved surface. So
Yeah,
why
right,
you
so-
did it.
What about the actual level that you're using to measure with? Because that's a level as well, isn't it?
You know,
So-
If it establishes a horizontal,
Compare
Right.
it to the
you
water.
can't be
Okay.
this stupid.
Perpendicular to plumb. Think
Oh,
about it,
stupid.
Bev. Orientation perpendicular to plumb. That's what level is.
yeah,
At every
in
point
If I'm
along the
6
line.
foot
Euclidean
8 inches off
geometry,
of
though.
water, if I'm 6 foot off of water in the middle, and I'm 6 foot 8 off of water on the one side, and 6 foot 8 off the water on the other side, then I am establishing that it's curved.
Right. So okay. So the water level is always dropping away from you, if that's the case.
That's what's always been said.
Right. So what happens if you
That's
then
not
go
new.
to where the 6 foot 8 bit is? Then is the water then still dropping away from you, or is it
Yes.
then rising?
Of course it is.
As you just said,
Holy
it's
shit.
always dropping
Okay.
away from you.
So it's relative then
Oh my
to,
god.
to your
What do you mean?
position.
It's already been said.
Yeah.
All of this is relative, dude.
I think.
Well,
Uh,
you come into problems though, don't you? If there's two
Do we
people
have an
there.
IQ test for Bev? I'm gonna have to bring one up here.
No.
We have to-
Yeah,
No,
yeah, you do. You come into
No,
big
if you
problems.
send two people there and do the test, you come up with the results, Bev, instead of talking nonsense
Well,
about
no,
it.
because
That's what
the
happens
water
if you
is
send two
always
people
dropping
there.
away from everybody.
So,
Yes.
so what?
Well, if you're at the end of the canal, you're at one end of a canal, and I'm at the
You're
other end
explaining
of
how
the
to do the
canal.
test that you're too lazy
So
to
the
do.
water is dropping
Okay,
away
okay,
from
okay.
both of
I
us.
think Bev's a dumbass.
Yes.
Just do the
That's called
test.
gravity. That's called level.
Yeah,
Right.
you're
Honestly-
you're at the top of the globe. Wherever every step you take, you're on top of it. You're on top. You're the only one on.
Okay. So,
Why is that funny?
so
Why is
the
that funny?
water level is a curved surface, whereas
Yes.
the actual level, like a laser level, is a horizontal surface.
Yes.
This is like-
As
No,
you were
They
told
are
last week-
definitely
yes,
As
they're
you were
two
two
told
different
last
words.
week,
separate
They're
things.
two different words.
As you
Yes.
were told last week, Bev,
What?
Yeah.
what you just stated and figured out.
What? That level
I was saying yes.
is
as
two
you were told
different
last week.
things.
And that you're retarded.
Level and horizontal, two different things. Yes.
I think you're gonna get an
Right,
award
no,
here.
okay.
And a level tool is different than water level.
Right,
A level
okay.
tool
Make me tell
establishes
you
a
again.
horizontal.
So a water level, the tool,
God.
is different
Why are you still
than
counting?
a
As you
level.
were told last week, Bev.
What is
Yes.
wrong
this
with
is literally
Bev?
all he has. Is
No,
circular,
I'm
go
establishing
back,
it
reset.
because there is a way to measure it now because
Malfunction.
you've said the
As you were
water
told last
level
week.
definitely curves and
Yes.
a laser level doesn't.
No,
So
the
they are-
water level
they are
curves,
definitely-
not a water level, not the instrument.
Okay, so if I
not
was
be
to get an
confused with
instrument,
of the same name.
okay,
Here,
so
you remember
water
this?
Water surface curve.
right, okay, so not a water level tool.
Water surface curves.
Things
Okay.
where, as we
Yeah,
just
you have to be
established,
so specific with them. It's like talking to a toddler.
Yeah.
It is. It's unbelievable.
Not the
Have
yes,
you-
the water level curves, not a water level, the instrument.
Okay,
You mean
so
a toddler
okay,
or
so
a toddler?
I can use the water level tool to measure the curvature of the actual water
No,
level
you
in the
use
canal.
it to establish a
Wow.
horizontal. That's the
Yes.
only reason for the tool is to establish a horizontal line. That's
Okay.
it.
Okay,
A,
so
a water
I put-
tube, a water tube over that distance will be 8 inches higher on either end.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then
as it-
So if
I just posted it
If
in
I
there.
put a hose pipe in a canal and then put 2 vials on the end of it and lift it out of the water a bit, I will definitely be able to tell, won't I?
It's very challenging to do a water test that long. It's been attempted, and the
by
the
Slice
tools
Barcade.
required, getting water to
Yeah.
that's just a challenge.
He-
So
he-
why not
he
just
should have
use
just used the
the
massive hose
transit?
pipe.
Stand in the stand in the center of the transit, measure to a flag on one end and to a flag on the other.
Okay, so
This is not complicated.
we are establishing that we can use a water level to check that the
A
water
water
level
would give you
is
the
level.
curve.
You've just had to go over it again in your head again. It's
Yeah,
already been
he just asked the same exact question like
Already been
5 times in
And
a row.
and what answer have we come up with, Cosmo?
No. The answer's already come up.
No, Cosmo's the
yeah,
surveying
no, we did
expert.
it 4
Pretending
times.
not to understand
The
it.
5th time's gonna be the same.
Cosmo's your savior, guys. He
No,
knows
no,
how to
we've just
actually
told you.
measure.
I'm not
Have you
anybody's
listened?
savior.
You are.
not-
You've got
No,
the key.
nobody's savior.
You've got the
I don't
key
know why
to
you're.
knowing the
You
measurement.
you might think of me like a god, but I'm not. I'm not a savior.
Definitely don't think of
So.
you like that, mate.
Maybe I'm your savior.
No, you.
Maybe I can save you from
No,
this
you've
bullshit that you
stated
do
that
over
it
and
is
over again.
easy to measure the curvature of the water level.
I
They
did.
have, yes.
I
know
did.
you
It's
have.
been done. It's been done, and I posted it at least 100 times for you.
What?
Really?
I'm sorry.
Jesse
From a
Cousins.
surveying standpoint,
In-
what would be if I did it at 1 mile, like a half a mile each direction? How much would it be? Would it be? It'd be less than 4 inches, right?
Yeah, the same beach
Is-
test. Yeah,
Yeah, to do the 2 flags at the end of the transit in the middle.
yeah.
So what would be? Do you have any idea what the actual measurement would be at
Yeah,
at half a mile?
Just use the measurements that you've been given
It
to
should
work
be
out how
half.
far it should
It should
be.
be half. I think
Half.
Roughly
it should be
half.
half. But yeah,
Isn't
Yeah, I
it
mean,
not
for-
4
exponential?
inches on either side.
for $100
That's
he could
still,
rent.
That's still measurable.
It's
Yeah,
not-
yeah. For $100 he could rent a level with a back site, go out to the shore, walk 1 mile, plant
Sure, I've got a
plant
canal.
a flag,
I'm doing it
walk
on the
another
canal.
mile, plant a flag, see, go back to the center where the level is and see what's what. But he refuses to do it. That's what happens when you're lazy
Why
as
would you?
fuck.
Why would you refuse to do that? That sounds like a really good test.
Who says?
You could debunk.
Who?
You could debunk
Sorry,
the ball in a-
sorry. Just a minute. Are you talking about me that's refused to do it?
Yes.
Well, why are you saying that I've
go do
refused
it.
to do it?
Oh, I thought that's what was said, but
No,
if
he
you
just
disagree with
Cosmo
that,
just makes up
I'm just
shit.
saying he could.
He
I'm
just
saying
makes
he
stuff
could
up
easily
about me.
recreate this test that he laughs at from Aaron
got
Burrell,
it.
who's a licensed
He's
surveyor.
Got
This is
a
that's his document
level.
right there.
Haven't, we,
And
haven't I
he-
been doing
and
this
he
for like
refuses to
months,
recreate it.
Cosmo?
Instead, he wants to make a 28-mile
Just make
water
stuff
level
up,
for some
Cosmo.
reason, and try to do that. So
Half a mile inward, all you see is a 2-inch change. Okay, that's what you need to look for. Not 4 inches. Not
2 inches. Ah, you
2
were
inch,
wrong,
okay.
Cosmo. You guys must.
yeah, I
be
said
wrong.
I said I think it should be. I didn't say any definitive.
How can
Jesus
it be
Christ.
exponential and just be
in the
half at half the distance?
It's not. It's not.
it'll be more.
It's not a linear relationship.
Yeah, I'm trying to get rid of
tell him, Dominic.
I'm trying to get rid of the refraction and stuff. You know, try and keep it close.
Yeah, it's
So
just
like a half
talking
a
about
mile is
geometry.
acceptable.
We're talking
Good idea.
purely geometric now with
Well,
the
yeah.
water level.
Get rid of the refraction, and we're talking about. I think with refraction, 1.71.
We
But
don't
without
need.
refraction,
No. There's no refraction taken into account with
Fine.
this. This
So
is
just use
actual.
geometric. You'll have plenty of
actual measurements.
You have plenty of measurement there to work with 2 inches over half a mile.
I've worked out loads of ways of doing it, but at the end we come down to the fact that
half a mile you can stick across.
Go do it.
Is
horizontal. Do it.
Bev, don't come back until you've done it. How's that? How about actions before words? Get off of the crayons on your paper and go do something. Go do something, man.
Now I'm begging you,
before you come back, do something. Take action. Do something with your life, man. Coming back and talking the same thing over and over does nothing. Now
With the cheap transit, how thick is the crosshair lines in the reticle? Can I see 2 inches at a half a mile with the reticle? On a cheap transit?
Cosmo? He's asking you. You're the surveyor guy.
You could see 6'8" on each side because it was actually had measurement increments on it.
Yeah,
you should be able to see. You should be able to see 2 inches, but
2 inch increments.
Yeah, because that would be interesting. I'm almost tempted to do this because I can lay hands on a transit.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't
and just
trust the water
two
level
measuring
too,
poles. Yeah.
Because I like this. This is so simple and elegant. I don't know why this isn't the definitive proof that you just go and say, "Okay, explain this. Shut up."
Yeah, well done, guy. You're a baller, are you?
I'm reasonable and rational. Yes.
Here you go, Moyak. I posted. I posted it in there.
I think you should do this. I'm right behind you. You can
Just
measure.
go to some canal. Just go to some canal.
It's on you, Bev. We already did that, Bev. Remember?
It's already been done.
You shoot the laser
You're
half
the
the
one
mile.
you remember, Bev?
Yeah,
You're the one whinging.
He's a licensed
Do we have a
surveyor saying that he did it and what his results were.
Do we have a YouTube video? That'd be kind of fun.
He doesn't have he was just on vacation or he was on a business trip.
So he
or
just
something.
did it. We gotta trust him at his words, which is reasonable.
Yeah, he did it. Of course he did. What measurement
It's
did he get?
reasonable, yeah.
What measurement did
It's
he get?
reasonable.
I just got back. What are you trying to do?
Okay, over water with a transit in the middle, measuring a mile in each direction. What is the height of the stick at the end? At either end, it'll be 6'8" at either end with a 6 foot observation point in the middle.
It's the difference between horizontal and level. Bev's the
Your
stuff.
observation points are 2 miles apart.
1 mile apart. Your observation point is in the center, and the whole span of the test is 2 miles.
What No, you're not going to have that difference over half a mile.
No, 2 miles overall of the course, 1 mile to the center.
All right, now we're back. Okay, 2 miles, like I said. Okay.
The picture's up now.
Yeah, Curve. This was from a licensed surveyor who went out to the beach and did this just for fun, and that was his results. Basically, hitting 6'8" on each target, which each target's a mile from the center point, which is where his theodolite was set up.
Okay, so what is wrong with what Kozlowski has already done at about a mile across the river with two auto
There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
This establishes, since you're doing it with the same device, it establishes that your device is level when you do it to opposite direction.
Yeah, this would be differential leveling, and so you would, especially on a relatively flat surface like a beach without elevation changes, you should be able to hit this pretty much every time. 6 foot in the middle, 6'8" measured on each side. Yep.
Well,
I would do this on a lake, and I would dig the water right up to the base of the transit so that I could say, okay, here's my measurement right to the water.
Can you see my one that we've got? That Canadian maths teacher, Kay, the one that drew the 6, that other picture that Cosmo's got. She did this of my water level test. Now, I was asking the guys around here the other day, she's got it over a mile, being 2 inches difference in the height of the water in the middle.
That's a sagita.
Yeah, 2 inches over a mile.
2 inches, drop from tangent 8 inches. They're both figures that apply to the same distance.
over a half mile, that drop is 2 inches. Is that hard to understand, Bev?
But leaving it
And,
level.
and since
over
you're
the full
measuring the
distance.
difference between the one in front and the one in the middle, the one in front's going to be at 0 miles. The one at the end's going to be 1 mile. So what's the one in the middle going to be?
Half a
Is it going to be a half mile?
But
Yeah,
Bev
I
said
think we can do
level.
math. That's pretty
Bev
good.
said level, though. No, it's not level. The orientation is not level. You can't. You're shooting up into the sky. The horizon's going to drop 0.04 degrees at.
Yeah, you're
see-
actually looking downhill at the second one.
You've got a problem as well there, because you've got 3 horizontals intersecting at the center, which
Yeah, there's no problem with that at all.
What?
That's totally
They're not intersecting at the center.
Yeah, they are.
So if you want to use level, then you set your camera up or your laser level.
I'll show
You
you. The,
fire it off over a half a mile. The target will be 2 inches below it, below level.
There's no issue with drawing lines like that. There's no problem.
Yeah. Look.
There's no problems with intersecting horizontals.
You've got
either.
three different horizontals on that vertical at the
problem.
center
They're
there.
just lines.
It's
Yeah,
not a problem.
that works just fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah.
Problem.
Looking
How is that
confused.
a problem,
It's a
Bev?
bit of a problem if you're trying to build something, isn't it?
What you need to know, Bev, is that horizontal is perpendicular at that radius.
At that
At each
location.
individual
Yeah.
location.
But this
Perpendicular.
this water level test is so much more difficult.
Those are 3 different planes, Bev.
Yeah, 3 different horizontal
Yeah, but
planes
you-
intersecting
correct.
a vertical.
Yes,
Correct.
because
Yes.
a
They're
horizontal
not
plane is
perpendicular,
only
though, is it?
normal to the direction of gravity at that point.
Okay,
It's not
so
at all points.
Can we redefine?
You can only establish a
then?
horizontal at one location.
Yeah.
It's
You're
not
the
your
one-
horizontal in the UK is not the same as mine in the US. You
You're
establishing a
redefining
horizontal line there
horizontal.
doesn't mean that that's the same horizontal for me. It's going to be very, very different because I have to establish my own horizontal at my own location perpendicular to the plumb line.
Same level,
And
then,
Bev,
right?
Bev, you're redefining horizontal. You're rejecting the definitions of horizontal that are
I'm
already out.
redefining horizontal.
Yes. Yes.
Why? Is what?
Because you're a Hmong.
It's
I don't know what
vertical
motivates you.
is perpendicular to horizontal, isn't it? Isn't
Yeah,
that?
and there are no
divergence.
verticals that are parallel. So
What? Vertical diverges with distance over the surface of the Earth. Vertical lines are
not in
fucking parallel.
Not in Euclidean geometry, they aren't.
yeah, in reality,
Fuck
we
yeah,
don't
well,
live.
what
We don't
geometry
live on
are
a piece
you
of
In the
paper.
real
Dad.
world,
We don't live
in
on
the
a piece
real
of paper.
goddamn world, vertical lines that are distances apart are not vertical. The greater the distance, the greater the divergence. Get that through your head, Bev.
It's
This
not
guy
that
just
hard.
say in Euclidean geometry? We don't live in Euclidean geometry.
Yeah, we live in
That's why-
reality.
That's why
This is
observations
measured
don't-
reality.
You can use Euclidean geometry for the circumference of the Earth, a great circle.
Oh, you can use that bit
Euclidean
of
for that.
Euclidean geometry, can you?
Yes, because we basically build little bitty fucking, buildings on, quarter-acre fucking lots.
Okay, so that's a postulate, right?
Using geometry in that sense and engineering is perfectly fine. But if you want to survey, let's say, 1,300 fucking acres or more, and you want to measure the angles between any three, the three corners of that.
Yep.
Then yes, Euclidean geometry is going to come into a factor because it's going to exceed 180 degrees. But if you want to just measure the angles,
Sorry, I think you might have just got a little bit mixed up there.
If you want to establish, center on a building pad, it's not very fucking hard because it's just a little bitty, area.
Is this the Bev on Twitter that doesn't understand level and horizontal?
Yep.
Yep, same one.
Good lord.
Hey, who's
And
that?
Bev, this right here, this proof actually shows you the difference between a horizontal and a level.
Yeah, I like how it says any small portion of a true level surface cannot be distinguished from a plane, and therefore, when observations are taken in respect to level within short distances of each other, the spherical form of the Earth can be disregarded. So, yeah, when you're building a house, you don't have to deal with curvature, for sure. When you build a long bridge or something, it's going to become more of a problem.
Yeah, fuck knows my house isn't built to a micrometer accuracy.
And if you're trying to build a mile-long pad, of the concrete floor that's on the ground of a building, let's say, a mile long, and it's level all the way across its surface, the sagittal of that chord is only going to be 2 inches. So how much do you have to take this into account when you're building something?
So you would intentionally put a curve into a level surface, would you?
If it's a half a mile long pad, that sagittal drops down to, I believe, 1/4 of an inch.
Okay.
Yep.
Or half a mile.
Oh wait, the specs from the subgrade all the way up to the concrete. Each one, the building pad, the subgrade, the gravel, and then the concrete has a tolerance of plus or minus 1 inch. That's just on a building pad, that's about 150 yards by 100 or 150 yards. I'm sorry, 150 feet by 150 feet.
Your incredulity is embarrassing.
It does say that geodetic surveying doesn't occur up until over 100 square miles.
Yeah, you've already been told that that's not a hard and fast rule. It's a rule of thumb. You've been told by geodetic surveyors directly that it depends on the project, how accurate the project needs to be.
But in planar surveying, the level is horizontal, isn't it?
In planar surveying, they have to assume that all plumb lines are vertical. We don't live on an assumption. We live in a reality where they're measurably not vertical.
Sorry?
Sorry?
Yeah, you should be.
This is the first time I'm hearing this?
Did you just say plumb lines are measurably not vertical?
The fake surprise is just shit.
This is your sea lining is pathetic, dude. We've
think
had this conversation. We had an entire hour conversation about this. This isn't brand new information to you.
You
You've been
just
shown
said something about
20
level,
ways
didn't
from
you? What
Sunday
did you
why
say
this
about
is
level?
measurably
then?
the case.
That you said that vertical isn't vertical.
No, I said vertical lines are not parallel to each other.
No, you didn't.
Plumb lines
I
are
think
not
you just
parallel
did
to
say
each
that,
other
though.
measurably or definitionally,
Hey,
which is
but
why
that's
on a
what- I think
planar
that's
survey
what
you
you
have
meant
to
to say.
assume
It's not
that
what you
plumb
said.
lines are parallel.
Right. Okay. So
I heard what Bev said, Cosmo, and I thought that you made a mistake. So you corrected it there by saying that you meant they're not parallel.
yeah, that's what I was after. I was after a correction.
I
So-
said not the first time too.
So okay.
I
So
said plumb lines are not parallel.
So Bev,
Verticals are. Go ahead, Pure.
All right. Okay. It's day one going out to a project. When a surveyor goes out there and they have the plans, they set up a single datum point to reference everything that they're going to do. Correct, Bob?
yeah, height above sea level usually. That's your datum.
Well, they set up a datum point, right?
Yep.
A known elevation above sea level, and then all of their measurements go off of that single point, don't they?
Yeah. Yes, they do.
Okay.
And level
So why
is
are you,
horizontal, isn't it?
dude? The assumptions from that project goes off of that single fucking datum point that they usually set a hub with a flag, a blue top on top of there. They can reference that single point of elevation above sea level for the entirety of the project. So the assumption is based off of that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. That's a horizontal dating
Welcome
point.
welcome to fucking reality.
Thank
you. finally
That's a
admit
level deal.
that it's an assumption.
It's a
off of that single point.
It's a horizontal dating point. Yes. You
Yeah.
won't get me
So when-
disagreeing
when-
with you.
When they set the subgrade up that have 1% or 0.5% of grade for water drainage.
Yep.
It's based off of that single point, ain't it?
Yep.
Hey, Pure, when you have one of these blue tops set up, could you, as far as a test go, is there any way that you could run off with one of these pieces of equipment and prove how much off of, or how much lower? I hate using the word lower. Could you prove the curve with that just by walking off a mile from the reference point?
Walking off a mile?
Yeah. Get a mile away from the blue top and measure and see that you're 8 inches low.
I mean, it'd be kind of hard in this fucking part of Texas, but I'm sure it can.
Yeah, I guess it's really hard because you're all inland. You're not going to be doing any water project.
Right.
Well, could you just lift it up about a foot and then go and try?
Could you lift it up a foot? Dude, I live in West Texas where the rolling hills here.
It's a
are
horizontal
over
plane, though, isn't it, dude? That datum is a
Hey, bud,
horizontal plane.
I think we're relegated. We're relegated to using this thing next to the river or lake.
Yeah.
Putting that transit
Next to
up,
a
2
canal.
flags on either end. It works really well. It's perfect. There's no chance of error in that. If you want, you can also do it at night when the temperatures are nice and even, and put 2 LEDs at either end and see where they fall. How high the LED has to be in order to identify where it is.
I
There's
mean,
all sorts of things you can do.
way to do it. Yeah, I could go out to fucking Elephant Butte Lake and set up a hub, there, and then go to the other fucking side of it.
Yeah, are you talking like GPS surveying? No.
This is talking.
No, I didn't. I never once said anything about it.
Laser or optical? How are we doing this?
I have not assumed anything. You're the one. You're not listening.
I'm asking how are we going to do it? I'm after trying to work out here. I think
Okay,
somebody else is trying to do that as well, aren't we?
Yeah, the way that you do it is you get a transit of whatever kind, and you put it in this on a beach or preferably on a lake, I would guess, because the water level doesn't change there.
Yeah. No, I've got a
And
canal.
go
near
and
me.
measure it. 1 mile direction, 1 mile the other, or you could get away with half a mile. A mile overall, so a total
Yeah.
mile course with you half a mile from either end.
Yep.
But that's a little bit harder to see.
What would we be doing?
The picture that was posted.
So, sorry, but I'm just checking here. Would we be checking that the water level isn't level? Or would we be checking that...
Yes, proving that the water level is not level.
Proving that it's not flat.
Yeah, the beach curves. Yeah.
Sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Translated it
The
to
water is level.
So, yeah, we want to make sure that the water isn't level, and then that would prove the spheroid.
We already know it's not level. This would just be.
We already know that the water level isn't
100
level.
million.
We
That's
know
fine.
it's level.
Ah, right.
The water's fucking level.
Okay. So
we know it's not flat or horizontal.
Okay, so, well, like, level is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane. I mean, that's... Can we have that?
Let's go around this circle again, shall we?
I'm sorry, can I just check, though?
Immediately reset.
That level...
Bev, please listen real quickly.
I know it's hard for you guys, isn't it? Go on.
Bev, you have not established that horizontal plane established by your little local water level continues parallel to the surface of the water.
I'm still trying to work out what you guys understand level to mean.
He just said it.
You've got
He just
two
said-
different
Dude,
things, haven't you?
we just did this a half hour ago.
Listen to him. He said it so clearly.
Yeah. Can
We've
we
been going over
have a
this
definition
fucking
where
phony.
level the tool for establishing a horizontal line
No,
plane?
surface, water
is
surface.
different?
Don't use the word level when you're talking about this.
No,
for
no,
now.
I'm talking about
water
the
surface
tool
curves.
level. Yeah,
The tool
where is
is
the
only effective
difference
at the two
between
endpoints of the
water
tool.
level and level? I want to know where
Bev.
is that stated that there is a
Bev.
difference between the,
water-
meaning of the
water
level.
tool- Jesus Christ. Bev, the tool is only effective to the distance that the tool is measuring. It does not apply to how you measure the rest of the earth beyond. Someone said it earlier. It says the curvature of the earth continues. And you have to be you have to be able to use something that can show that deviation from the horizontal over a longer stretch of the earth.
That's what we've just been trying to work out, isn't it?
No, they worked it out. You keep re going back. I saw you do it. I mean, I heard you do it. You went from the concept of what level means to the tool, and you seamlessly went through it, and then you frustrated everyone in here.
What's your concept of level if it's not the tool?
Okay, so my concept of level is that it follows a shape. It follows the surface of a shape. The surface could be curved. The surface could be flat and straight, like a plane. Okay, but for it to be level, it's like you tried to call me out before and say that I'm talking about elevation points or something. What was it? The contour lines. But it's not a contour line because we're not talking about topography. We're talking about the shape of the overall shape of the object. So the level is consistent with a distance from the surface of that object.
Level, adjective, level, flat, plane, even, smooth.
No,
Having
no,
the
no,
surface
water level.
You
Water
skipped
level.
out,
You skipped
Do
over
water level.
bends,
Water level.
curves, or irregularities.
Water level or gauge height or stage is the elevation of the free surface of a stream, lake, or reservoir relative to specified vertical datum. Not to be confused with the device of the same name.
Where does it say
It's in there.
curves?
It's in there so
Where does it
blatantly,
say curve?
but you keep confusing it. Why would
Yeah,
this say curved when we know that the vertical datum is curved?
You know how I know this guy is basically just trolling, because anybody that has any background with engineering, construction, anything like that doesn't use a layman's term definition for level.
Exactly.
No one does.
This is industry specific definitions.
Yeah.
And he continues to go back to the colloquial.
What's this about
definition.
level, though, in here where it says horizontal condition?
So you're saying he's an absolute Poe?
Especially
He's an absolute
equilibrium
something.
of a fluid marked by a horizontal surface.
Bev,
of
why
even
can't you
altitude.
respect
Bev, go down to entry 3.
Water level
Having no part higher than
seeks
another
its own
conforming to the curvature of a
level.
liquid parts of the Earth's surface.
I'm-
Why do you leave that part out, buddy?
I'm not just leaving it out. I'm telling you now what the water. The water seeks its own level.
Yeah, go to entry
Horizontal
definition of level entry
condition.
3 of 3.
Yep. And that tells you.
Entry
Water
3 of
is
3.
not
What does it say?
sentient. It does not seek anything. Water is not
Curvature
We got that.
of
No,
the.
We got that.
What? What's it say for your curvature of what?
Yeah. Why won't you check out number 3, which is more industry specific of what we're talking about. We're talking about engineering and geodetic survey.
Yeah.
So number 1 would be is bullshit. That has nothing to do with the industry.
Device
Number 2
for establishing a horizontal line or plane. That's exactly the tool we're talking about.
That's
That's fine. That's a tool. That's not the level of the land.
God damn
That's a
it.
tool called a
Make him
level.
read the fucking definition. Make the words fall out of his fucking mouth.
Yep,
Hey
read it.
guys, this doesn't need to be any more complicated than this, okay?
And
find a ball, put it on the floor. Now the floor and the surface of the ball that's touching the floor is level. So now roll the ball along the floor, and the surface that touches the floor is at any given time level with the floor.
It's touching the floor.
The end.
Yeah, each different point
is
of
the-
the ball is
is
touching
the
the
floor
floor.
level.
Yeah. Bev, he said the ball. The
Yeah,
ball.
I know, but I mean the floor would have to be level.
No.
wouldn't it?
You don't go back to floor. You have to focus on the ball. The
No,
ball
no,
is
no.
level.
There's no good focusing on the ball.
Yes, there
when you're
is good.
talking
That's the
about
point.
level. It's not.
It is.
It's not.
Because because here's what you're doing.
There's
You're
no
ignoring
curve
the fact
in level.
Bev, I have the least amount of experience in here.
And
I
that
went ahead
shows.
and read a little bit on
Nice
this.
what you're
Well,
saying.
let's see what happens. I started to read up on some of the stuff. And what I've come to understand is that the idea of a level, again, has to be established, first of all, by your orientation. What are you determining is your horizontal plane? Whether or not
Horizontal.
other points, excuse me, no, that's circular. Whether or not other points along, other points that you have chosen are parallel, other lines, I'm sorry, that you've chosen are parallel to the orientation of your X and Y axis. Okay? When we're talking of a sphere and the surface of a sphere, by definition, no two lines that come from the center of a sphere can be parallel. Okay, unless they go in opposite directions. That's the first. That's like almost like a rule. I bet you that's probably a circular axiom or somewhere. The other thing is that, the surface of a sphere, by its definition, can never be flat. Okay, so what the person said earlier, I apologize, I can't remember who it is, but he says that the surface of the Earth, as you continue on, okay, the question is, does it deviate from that horizontal that you establish with the two endpoints of your water tool or whatever? You have to go beyond that.
Yeah. Of your datum point, if you go for like Elephant Butte, that's over 36,000 acres of a man-made lake. You establish a datum there, go to the other side. If you put lasers up, or put something, if you could make a straight line from each of those datum points one end to the other, will they be parallel? No, they won't. They will deviate because the fucking water and the Earth is not flat.
So this is one thing that I'd like some flat earthers that love lasers to do, because apparently they've got access to some powerful lasers, at least the guys over here in Europe, right, for the laser test thing. Like, instead of shining it across the surface, you could actually take those type of powerful lasers that would actually light up. Granted, this would be highly illegal because you would be aiming them at planes. But if you were to actually shoot them perpendicular to the surface and then separate two of them by, say, I don't know, 20, 30 miles, and actually view them side on, guess what would happen? You would get those lines going from the center, as previously mentioned, that wouldn't be parallel.
I thought of doing that from the tallest tower. You could get a stick, put two plumb bobs on it, and measure it like a meter apart at the top, and at the bottom they should be less.
Should be what? Yeah.
Yeah.
They would be less.
How are you going to measure?
Has
the
anyone
distance
ever
in
done
between?
that?
How are you going to measure the distance in between, Bo?
In
Be
between, like you measure it at the bottom. You just put them on a stick that's a meter apart, and you measure where the lines fall from.
A meter apart, Jesus Christ.
Well, I don't know any.
What among?
What?
You don't have the
my
slightest
God.
clue what you're dealing with here.
What?
What divergence do you think you're going to get from
I don't
two
know. Like,
one
which is the
lines
tallest
that are
building
a
in the
meter
world?
fucking apart? A meter
Bev, I'm
apart, Bev. Listen to you.
So you wouldn't get any difference, you'd say, would you not?
The difference would be micro.
It's stupid, Bev. That is dumb.
Long.
Without having done any
two
of the math,
really long
the
verticals,
difference is
wouldn't they?
probably too small for you to measure with any normal tools. That's
Your
just
margin of error.
without having done any of the calculation.
Oh, so
the margin
so
of error on the
using
plans,
using a
what's wrong with the
deviation on
plan?
like that is no good, is it? Like, you
Bev, the
can't
margin
do
of
anything.
error would probably be greater
I like the
than,
way you do that.
than
I
just
like
the
that.
ambient.
Oh dear.
It's the construction plans themselves. This is how I know this guy has no fucking background in any type of construction, because I've already the construction plans themselves give an error, a margin, error of margin within plus or minus 1 fucking inch. You mung.
What?
The margin of error, Bev, is so small that you can't
You
measure
said
it.
over an
You're-
inch. What are you talking about?
No, oh Jesus
You're
Christ!
getting cross.
Hey guys,
You're getting
wait,
cross
hold on. I
wires
want
here,
to ask
guys.
a quick question that's kind of related to this, but I just wanted to get this is how I learned. If I have two datum points and I establish a horizontal plane between the two data points, right, and then I do two other datum points elsewhere, those two horizontal planes are not going to be on the same horizontal plane. I guess I'm sounding redundant here. So you've got one horizontal plane established by two datum points, and then you do two other datum points, establishing another horizontal plane. Those horizontal planes are not only not parallel, but they could intersect each other. I'm just trying to see if that's true or not.
That's not how surveying works.
I'm not asking you. You
They can't
definitely couldn't
survey like
answer
that.
this.
They have
Excuse
to
me.
have
That wasn't the question. Could some of the
horizontal
more
plane whenever they're doing.
Could you
surveying.
please be quiet and let someone else answer?
Otherwise, they'd have to have a distance
Jesus
between
Christ.
the point that they're measuring.
Okay, go ahead. And then after you're done talking, can someone just help me
No, it's
understand?
all right. I answered it, but
I know you didn't.
I did.
So with those two, so some of the more experienced real surveyors and real engineers in here, would those two horizontal planes either intersect, or would they be sharing the same horizontal plane?
What's your setup, real quick?
Okay, so two datum points, let's just say, I don't know, a half mile apart, I don't know, right? And I'm going to establish a horizontal plane with any two datum points. That's just from one point to the other
Are
is a
they
straight
the
line.
same elevation, for fuck's sake?
Yes, same elevation.
Okay. No, they're not going to. They're not going to be parallel. They're not going to be coplanar.
Thank you. Coplanar. That's the word I was.
Intersect.
They're going to intersect. Thank you. So Bev, looks like you're wrong there, but no one was asking you in the first place.
Well, that point of deviation should be able to be measured, shouldn't it? Get a measurement.
If you have a
And that's
sensitive
what's
enough
been
tool,
proposed with the lake, with the one observation tool in the middle, going 180 degrees, viewing targets each a mile away, 180 degrees apart from each other, this will become apparent that the water drops downward from the measurement tool. So do it. Do it.
Well, the water drops down from you, but what about if there's another guy measuring, on the other side? Is it dropping away from him as also?
Dickhead, measure it and find out.
Because then you'd both be have the water dropping away from you, wouldn't
arguing. Measure it
Is that
and
not
find
like
out.
a logical fallacy?
Yes,
That
the answer is yes. Both of you would have the water dropping away from you because both of
and
you
you-
are elevated above. the
you're
water.
fine with that, are you? Like, no
Yes.
logical problems
I'm fine
there.
with that. I'm perfectly fine with it because it makes sense.
Oh, okay.
I'm
That's the
sorry
byproduct
you can't
of
understand that, but that's just how nature works.
Okay. But so this curvature of the water level is definitely measurable, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So can you work on your method? And I've already
the
sorted
photograph
mine.
is the method. It's not complicated. Look at it, or the image it's posted.
The work is complete.
This is not
Oh,
rocket
right.
science.
So you don't actually have to do it. Just drawing a picture of it is enough for you guys, is it?
No, you can go and test it now, but that's the methodology. Stick the thing in the middle, calibrate it.
So you're
and then
saying
look.
to us to do it. You don't have anybody that has done it.
Well, we can't do it.
You're
for you
the one
because you
that
won't
denies
believe
reality
us.
is real. So go ahead and demonstrate it.
I work in reality. That's where I've always been.
Well, where's the work?
Well, you make a very good case against that statement, but okay.
Really?
Right.
Where's the work, Bev?
Dude, I hope I get some free time because I'm gonna do a fucking observation over Elephant Butte Lake. That lake's depending on the elevation of the water and how much rainfall we got, it's up to 40 miles long and 1.5 miles wide.
What you could
And Bev, you're gonna simply say that he didn't do the
what you
experiment.
could do, guys, is right. You could first of all work out
No,
calculation.
What you can do.
Well, I'm telling you what we. I'll do mine version, but what I think you guys
Go
should
ahead and do it and come back.
You should have a calculation to how much curvature you would expect in
8
the water
inches.
level at your place, right? And then
We're
you
not
could
using
have
the
a
water level.
competition who can get the closest to it, and then you'd have like a.
We're not using a water level, and it'll be 8 inches.
No, I'm saying like in order for you guys to measure it, you could have a competition to see who could get the closest.
It'll be
to
8
your
No, I have the
predicted.
smallest penis, so I'll lose.
Not
No,
like
go ahead and do it and come back.
Isn't it meant to be different though? Like at the equator to the poles, like the actual
No, God, not
curvature
measurably.
is well
depending on the conditions.
calculatable, isn't it?
closed state.
It could be like a two-party. You could have a bit of a maths thing to see who could get the calculation the
difference
best.
between the equator and anywhere else is like thousandth percent. You're not going to be able to
Are
measure
you
it.
guys not into that sort of challenges with a bit of maths?
No, how about you just
No, I hate
do
challenges.
it?
Why
don't you just
mine's easy.
The
start
surface is
small,
curved,
Bev, work your
and
way
then
up.
stop
The
talking.
water
ever.
level's horizontal in mine, and that's the way it works.
You're trolling,
Well,
man.
your
That's all
mind
you're
is
doing.
wrong.
Yeah, he's trolling.
No, I'm being deadly
Yeah, you're
serious,
trolling,
guys.
'cause you
No,
won't
you're
do the- you
trolling.
won't do the
Always
work.
have been.
You said you do work, and you don't do the work. You're doing the same thing the other guy did the other day. You're like, oh, I do my experiments, experiment 6, experiment 7. Okay, where's the experiment at? You're isn't it like 7 o'clock over there? 7, 8 o'clock at night?
Who said experiment? Has anyone ever heard me say experiment?
That's the problem.
What?
You act like you work in an industry that you've demonstrated that you have
I'm
not.
just
one
asking
fucking clue
questions,
about,
guys.
bro.
I'm just trying to work out like how
No, you're
it's
not.
going.
You're not asking questions.
You're not just asking questions. You're making statements.
Yeah, the water level is horizontal. Yeah,
You're wrong. You're
You
wrong.
ask questions, you get answers,
I'm-
and then you
like deadly serious about that though, because
no. The water level is
I've
not.
tested it.
The
I've got-
water level is not horizontal, Bev.
I've
Unless
got my
you
proofs.
redefine what horizontal means
Yeah.
on a spherical Earth.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, I
The
mean, if
water
you have to
level
change the
is
definition, but
horizontal.
he's saying that it's horizontal on a flat plane.
change. The water level, the two ends will form a horizontal plane. That is correct.
Thank you.
That plane does not remain parallel to the surface of the water over distance.
So you go along with the intersecting horizontals then?
No, if the
It's
plane
been
was
demonstrated.
5,000 miles wide,
Demonstrated.
it would not.
Yes.
The water level would not be
Have you seen
parallel.
Have you seen my method of water levels? Like from
Reciprocal-
what you've
No,
just
I
said?
haven't. I've never seen you give any demonstration
No,
of your water leveling.
it's geometry.
method.
and,
Amounted to shit.
like if you work in horizontals, like
You don't understand geometry.
ooh, that's a
You
bold
don't.
claim.
Well, no,
please-
you
please expand.
demonstrated it.
What?
Literally, over the last 2 days of your shit
Yeah.
shows you have not one fucking clue of geometry.
What?
You have not one fucking clue on the industry which you said that you were familiar with
Have you
in
ever
any
seen?
type of engineering.
Have you ever seen Euclidean geometry? It's not difficult. Like, to claim somebody hasn't got a clue about it is a bit.
You don't.
It's a bit bold because Euclidean
No,
geometry
no,
is pretty simple. Like, really.
I know it's.
So
see, I've been able to demonstrate that I actually know 10 times more than you about anything in construction and engineering, and you've demonstrated
Geometry.
you know next to fuck all.
Geometry.
Well, the good thing is construction and engineering uses geometry, and I've actually demonstrated I know.
Euclidean geometry do they use?
Bev, what is metrology?
Oh, no, we're sticking on geometry at the minute. The claim's
Okay.
been made.
Okay. What's you don't know?
that
You so
I
metrology
don't
is
understand.
not relevant here.
Flatty, keep out of this, please.
No, I'm in it. Deal with it.
The claim has been made that I do not understand geometry, whereas Euclidean geometry is pretty simple.
Yeah, but he said geometry.
Yeah, that's Euclidean geometry is the geometry
say
that
Euclidean.
everybody knows. It is.
Well, there's other geometries
Which
besides
are?
that other people know.
Which are other people
Engineers,
know, not you.
Let me shut up and let them tell you.
Go on. Somebody tell me what do I not understand about geometry?
Well, absolutely everything. You don't understand that the at all.
Oh.
And how they set up datum points.
Now that's not geometry. That's surveying. Like,
Well,
please state
it is.
your claim about geometry.
See,
Surveyors
another
use
demonstration-
Euclidean geometry, don't they?
Hold on, you just said they don't use geometry. Then you're saying they use Euclidean geometry, which is one of the three forms of geometry: saddle geometry and spherical geometry being the other two.
Yep. And surveyors use Euclidean
Oh, yeah.
geometry.
No, geodetic surveyors don't.
What? Are you sure?
What? I know.
He's telling you about another kind of geometry.
What sort of
besides
geometry
Euclidean.
do geodetic surveyors use then, please?
Well, they switch back and forth, but they've been able to demonstrate that geometry, when you make observations.
Sorry, did you just say another geometry then?
Are you gonna ask me the question and talk halfway through it, or are you gonna shut the fuck up? Which one's it gonna be?
Which geometry are they using, please?
Well, geodetic surveyors can use both depending on what they are surveying. So if they're surveying areas that are outside of like 2 miles, when they make those observations and add up the angles within with 3 points that are outside of 2 miles, they find out that those angles exceed 180 degrees when added up. That is
what?
Spherical geometry.
How do they do that? On
it's hard.
They measure triangles how?
I hate this guy.
From just lines, right? They get 3 different points and they measure angles between them 3 different points, right?
And along the surface of a sphere, it is not 180 degrees, Bev.
What? So the angles don't add up to 180 degrees when you...
They don't. 180 degrees, dumbass.
Pardon?
Yeah, they do. So when
they
you measure,
do add up to 180 degrees.
They exceed 180 degrees.
When they are measuring them with a tool? Really?
Really? Yeah.
So they measure.
Oh, remember when I did that to you, Bev? It was like, really?
Yeah.
You doing it?
Yeah. Well, I'm really struggling to work out here because in that you need
really stupid.
You need to have curved lines, don't you?
Bev, it's a shame that when I started with you, I didn't have any knowledge of some of the stuff, and now it's just like I walked over you.
You haven't got a clue what you're talking about. I'm not talking to you, Flatty.
You're speaking about one type of geometry, and they're telling you about others, and you don't listen.
Surveyors use Euclidean geometry.
It comes down to this. All right.
Yeah.
Bev, I did this the other day with you. It may not have been you, but I did this with somebody else.
Yeah. Okay.
So well, then listen. So we can take 3 points. We'll use the Liberty Island, the Statue of Liberty, and then
you're measuring this with a tool, right?
Dude, will you just listen? Shut the fuck up. All right. Okay. And then we have Battery Park. Those are 3 known locations. 3 known locations above sea level. When surveyors, which have surveyed these areas, when you take those, those 3 points, and you add the angles up between all 3 of those points,
once you've got them onto a sphere,
those angles exceed 180 degrees.
Not actually when you're measuring them, though, right?
When you measure them, the angles between all 3 points have an angle between them.
Yep.
So we'll say your position A.
Yep.
So when you measure the angle between position B and C, that has an angle, right?
Yep.
Okay, so when position B, measures the angle between A and C, that has an angle, right?
Yep.
And so on and so on.
Yep.
When you add up those angles, they exceed 180 degrees. Flat out, bottom line.
No, they don't. You've done something wrong. You've got bad calculators.
If
that's happened.
Bev, did you look at the chat box?
Yeah, that's
the guy showed you. There's 2 people that showed you how that's possible. So why are you not responding to that?
One of them's reality, and the other one's on a model.
Okay, and the model is a real spherical object. It's a balloon, and it's showing what he just explained.
Yeah, Well,
It's a real object in reality.
Yeah, that's the thing, though, isn't it? Spherical geometry is just.
Why would you
concerned
say
about
that's
the
just a thing? You said reality
2D surface
on a 3D
of
object.
A sphere. No.
Yes.
It's not 2D.
What? Spherical
The
geometry.
surface of a sphere is not 2D.
But the spherical geometry is the geometry of the 2D surface of a sphere.
Yeah, we went over this last week, Bev.
When you're working with a spherical triangle, that is three-dimensional.
Spherical
That is not
geometry is the geometry of the two-dimensional surface of a sphere. It's in Wiki.
Read the next sentence. Read the next sentence, Bev. Please read the next sentence, Bev. Bev, you
It is an
there?
example of no, it is an example of a geometry that is not Euclidean. Practical explanations of principles of spherical geometry are navigation and astronomy. In plain Euclidean geometry, the basic concept are that the points and are points and straight lines. It's funny how they cherry pick literally the first line and they ignore the complete rest of it.
But if it's only on the surface of a sphere, then you don't have any vertical height, do you? Because it's only the 2D surface of the sphere that's spherical.
Why are we
geometry
talking to
is
this
concerned with.
asshat? He's just recycling bullshit.
Yeah, shit from 3 hours ago.
Yeah, okay. So you've still not worked anything yet, because this is going to be a problem for you guys. Your geometry is severely lacking.
You're delusional. Delusional if you think this is going to be a problem for us in any way. You're completely delusional.
Okay. Well, it's no problem for me.
There's no problem for any of us either. Okay. And you not understanding something and just being obtuse about it will not change reality in any way. No one here will be bothered by that. No one on earth will be bothered by it. You're just someone who doesn't get it. Who cares?
Doesn't get what is it that I don't get, Jem, before I do go?
Or the things that people have attempted to explain to you this afternoon.
The basic Euclidean geometry.
All of the things from, the definition of the word level to, all of the different things that you just, you're doing this. I mean, I don't know why anyone act stupid. I don't get that. I don't see what the point is. Okay. I mean, what can I say?
It's monkey jump syndrome.
Why do you want people to think that you're less intellectually able than you are? Why is that a thing?
So, what's the problem again then? Do you have a problem with the fact that I think level is a straight line on a horizontal plane?
I have a problem
because that's
with
at the basis of my stuff here, isn't it?
No, the problem that I'm describing is you doing this silly act. I don't understand what you hope to gain by it.
You think it's an act?
Yes, obviously an act. Very obviously.
Why is it obviously an act?
Well, because you're pretending that you don't understand things. You're pretending you've heard things for the first time. When I know I've told you them myself yesterday.
Do you think
other people have come in
well?
here and gone through quite, talked about quite protracted exchanges they've had with you on this stuff, and just about everything everyone says, you're oh, what? You have to repeat. What did you? What you just said that? What? It's ridiculous. It's an
over dramatic reactions,
and it's inconsequential to reality.
What?
Okay.
What?
It is.
It's inconsequential now.
Right. If you want to demonstrate that the Earth's flat, if you want to advance,
Jem,
if you want
didn't we do this last time? That's
you're
not
a flat
what,
earther.
There
Yes, you're a
are
flat earther.
mountains
If you-
and
if you-
valleys. They are not flat. I can't
No, but-
demonstrate that they are
Okay.
flat because there's big lumps and bumps.
Bev,
Everyone can see them.
Nobody. I'm gonna do it how you did it to me. Nobody understands flat Earth to mean no mountains and valleys. Nobody understands it that way. That's just you pretending to not get it again.
What do you mean not
It's
get
ridiculous.
Jem?
That is not what is meant by flat Earth.
What is meant by flat Earth,
There are
then,
lots
Jem?
of people who call themselves flat Earthers. None of them claim an Earth with no mountains and valleys. That's not what is meant by it. If you understand it to mean that, if you understand it to mean
then,
that, then
Jem?
you've misunderstood it, and you need to correct
What is
your
it
understanding.
that you mean, then, Jem? Please.
I mean that the shape of the Earth generally is a flat plane, as is claimed by flat Earthers.
With lumps and bumps.
But the water
level
level.
Thank you for
is
derailing the point
horizontal.
that I've now
right?
forgotten. But I'm not going to do this idiotic game with you.
all right, I'm going
If you
over
don't
it.
understand, look,
I do
you've been
understand.
talking about this.
I understand
Bev,
the
you've been
practical
talking-
use
let
of
me
the word
finish.
level.
Let me finish. You've been talking about this for at least 4 or 5 hours this afternoon.
Going for months.
Yeah, and exactly. And you still don't understand these basic things. What is the point in me trying to explain it to you? Either this is an act, or you've got a really bad learning difficulty. Either way, none of us are capable of penetrating it because you're either too mentally ill to understand, or you're doing an act where you refuse to understand. So what's the point? Okay, you don't understand it. Okay, great. You're a thick cunt. You proved it. Well done. Good job.
That's great.
Ben,
You know,
you
you spent months and months and months asking the same 3 or 4 questions, and you still don't understand the answer. Great. You're stupid, obviously. Or you're acting.
Or I'm
Well,
just
wait,
going
you're
from what I
missing-
see
you're
in
missing-
reality.
You're missing the other option, or literally everyone but Bev is in.
Yeah, your mic is not an option.
If you want to advance your idea, then you have to establish that what you think is true is true. Okay. And you can't establish that by, like I said before, just not getting it, just not understanding what is said to be true.
So how would I get it? So should I go and ask some surveyors about what
No,
level is?
no,
Would they not?
no.
Would they not know?
No, you shouldn't do. You shouldn't ask your questions anymore because you don't. Because after months of asking the same question, you're still incapable of comprehending the answer.
Well, 'cause nobody's answering me, are they, Jem?
There has to be a point where you just have to say, "Well, this strategy is no good. It doesn't
You'd
work." it
think
doesn't-
that
it
one
doesn't
of you
get
would
me
have gone,
anywhere.
look, geometry proves things. Here's the geometry that proves this. You haven't.
We've said. How many times have people mentioned geodetic surveying? At
What,
length
is that a
to you.
geometry?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
What geometry is that?
Yes.
Which geometry
Well, I
is
think-
that, please?
Well, I think if they're using GPS, they're actually using geometry for that. I would have thought because that plots points in 3D space.
Right.
On,
But when you measure
on an axis, right? So
Yeah,
I think.
but when
I
you
think
measure the angles between those positions,
So I think as other people have said, they're using different types of geometry. But why does that matter? Why is that a qualifying factor?
I have been
Do
looking
you think
into
they're not
it.
using geometry at all? I mean,
Yeah, they use Euclidean geometry. I know what geometry they use.
okay. So is that no good then?
No,
Can that not-
Euclidean geometry doesn't have intersecting horizontals because, as I just explained earlier, definition 10 in the Euclidean geometry book, it states that
Right,
a
so
line
just something
that
you
is
don't
perpendicular to another line has right angles on it. And all right
Yeah,
angles
well, that
are
would be
equal
true.
is another one of the axioms of
Right.
Euclidean geometry.
You're
sucking us back in, guys. Euclidean-
But you can still plot points in 3D space using that method.
What?
exactly what?
Which of those words didn't you understand?
How do you plot points
No.
using
Let's talk
that
about why
method?
you didn't understand that very.
I'm just trying to work out how you managed to plot points using Euclidean geometry
X, Y, and Z,
on a
X, Y, and Z.
three-dimensional. So you're
X, Y, and Z.
You're plotting them on
X, Y, and Z.
You're plotting them. Yeah, X, Y, and Z stay the same.
What?
X, Y, and Z.
There you go. There's a picture. Slacker did.
X, Y. So X, Y, and Z do not move, do they?
What?
They stay the same, don't they?
You're just talking shit.
He's an escape mental
Your
patient.
coordinates that you are going to use for your spherical geometry on plot them positions are going to have the same Z, X, and Y coordinates, aren't they?
No.
So you're going to have all of them axes intersecting and moving around with you, are you?
Listen. You plot points in 3D space, don't you?
Yeah.
On an
you
X,
go
Y,
like
Z axis.
X something, Z something, Y something.
Right. So what is the problem with that?
Well, your Z is at north constantly. It doesn't move and it doesn't turn. You don't ever get Z-axis intersecting. You never get Y-axis intersecting.
Look
Do
at the
you?
picture Slacker put up. It's right there.
How could you get a Y-axis intersecting when there's only one up? I don't understand. I have no idea what you're saying.
Well, you like to pretend that vertical is one of them axes, don't you?
Oh my god.
I don't even know what that means.
So Z would move in relation to your position, wouldn't it? One of them axes would follow.
Why don't you shut up a second? So what they're doing is basically a line of latitude, longitude, and an elevation above sea level, X, Y, and Z axis. When you do 3 points, dumbass, this is where the spherical geometry comes into play, and I told you this already. When you get 3 points in 3-dimensional fucking space, and you measure those angles that exceed like about 2 miles, and you measure the angle between those points, all 3 people do them, they add up to, they exceed 180 degrees. Bottom line. There you go. There's your Euclidean geometry and your spherical geometry working hand in hand.
He is. And
He's totally sucking us back into the same question.
You don't get it. So what? Okay, you don't get it. We've tried to explain it to you. You can't understand anybody's explanation. As you pointed out yourself, you've tried for months. There has to be a point where you just say, well, this is something I can't do or I'm not willing to do, whatever.
I completely understand it.
Okay.
I know what I'm talking about.
So why are you in here asking questions?
Because I'm just checking how much you guys understand of what you're doing.
Okay, well, I'm sure you
Not
proved
much, is it?
yourself with your abject ignorance and your definitions of things that nobody else subscribes to. I'm sure if you work from that basis, we don't get it.
You're basing it around the geoid, though, aren't you? Like you're mapping coordinates onto a geoid. That's your go-to.
When you sit here and come in here and claim that you've worked in engineering industries and shit like that for many.
Listen. I've never claimed that. Don't tell me what I've claimed and then tell me that I've claimed something that I haven't claimed. That's ridiculous, isn't it?
You came in here yesterday and did.
I said I was a joiner, time served, and I've done a building construction course and a basic surveying certificate. Okay? Yeah.
Claiming that you know knowledge of an industry that you know fuck all, and you've demonstrated you don't.
Hey, Bev, can you go to the course that you took and pull up a glossary of terms?
Nah, it's
the
easy
course
to go.
that you used? Or if not the one
it was
took.
pre.
If not the one that you took.
It was when it was way back when they had benchmarks before they went to GPS.
Answer a question I haven't asked, Bev. Let me finish the question, please. Now, if you can't do that, can you pull up a glossary of terms that surveyors use that you will subscribe to? You got a surveying certificate. You've got to agree with surveyors, I take it. So can you present
Level's horizontal, mate.
That include horizontal and level,
Yep.
glossary of terms, surveying usage.
I'll get them on the phone for you and ask you
surveying
specifically. Yeah,
No,
I'll get a surveying team.
Yeah,
on it.
pull some daft little stunt over the phone. Play some word game over the phone because
Oh,
that,
no,
that will advance your idea.
I'll get
That'll
them.
work.
I'll see how much they'll charge.
Why don't you do what Curve says? Do us
Measuring.
Just find it.
I'm going to see how much they'll charge for measuring, like checking that the water levels.
I want a glossary of terms.
Horizontal.
They're free. A glossary that you will adhere to.
And when you guys sort out.
Oh no, you can't do that, can you?
Who's
Because you
done?
know you won't be able to find one.
Who's measured the curvature the best? Who's
Glossary.
the best
That's it.
geodetic
Why
surveyor?
are you just
Do you have one?
blasting now? Why aren't you responding to what people are saying?
Because he's caught.
Yeah.
Come on, I've
because he
caught
knows.
what? Come on, go,
Dude,
go,
you-
quick!
you-
I've got to cook my tea.
You would be able
quick.
to, dude. If you've done any of this, you would have access to the fucking the terminology, a glossary of terminology.
Level
that
is
was used in
horizontal.
there.
That's like.
Well, show us a source that agrees with that.
Show me how level isn't horizontal, and we'll be fine with that.
I don't care about your daft
I've got to go for
assertion.
me tea. See you
Yeah, I
later.
bet you are.
Have a
Bye-bye.
bye.